Hi, my name is Agnelo Marques, and today I will be talking about Web 3.0. To talk a little bit about me, I am a technology consultant with over 20 years of experience in the technology industry, providing solutions to customers all over the world. So talking about Web 3.0. Right? Now Web 3.0 is the third version of the internet. Right? So let us first understand version 1.0 and 2.0. So Web 1.0 is the first version of the internet. And the first version of the internet is about 30 years old. The first application of the internet 30 years ago was a static website. What do I mean with a static website? A static website is a website which has got static pages where you can read content but are not able to interact with the pages on the website. Correct? So you can really read information, right? Consume that information in read-only mode, and then read as much as you require. Correct? So what it really meant is the entire internet at that point of time was a large information dissemination network, right? Which only did one thing. It basically disseminated information to everyone who came to the internet to watch or to find out content, right? So 10 years of this, okay, and we enter into something called the social web, right? The social web had a set of social applications that it provided, right? Now, what are social applications? You know social applications like YouTube, you know social applications like Netflix, Twitter, LinkedIn, Amazon, some payment applications. What do these applications allow you to do? These applications allow you to socially interact with other participants on the network, right? So the social applications allowed us to kind of create content, right? Generate the content, provide comments to that content, and provide feedback to that content. What really happened is I put something on the internet, you liked it, you commented on that, and then I commented again. So you see how things are changing from Web 1.0. In Web 1.0, you are actually just reading the content. In Web 2.0, you are interacting with the website and collaborating with other users on the internet, basically. Correct? Now, when you create content on, let's say, YouTube, or when you create content on, let's say, Twitter, when you tweet something, or you write something on Facebook, what you really are doing is actually putting the content onto the servers of the platform provider. So when you post your pictures on Facebook, the pictures go and land on a server in Facebook. We call this centralized applications. So all social applications that you use today and in the Web 2.0 world is actually a centralized system, right? And in many cases, rather most or all cases, you actually don't own that content. Correct? Who owns that content? If you read the terms and conditions of these applications, you will realize that the content actually is owned by the platform provider. So if Facebook is the platform provider, then Facebook owns your content, right? Add to this fact that this content is spread on multiple different servers, each owned by the respective platform owner. Correct? So what do you see here? What is the challenge? What challenge do you see here? The challenge here is that this content that you are creating, you are generating, and all of us as users are generating, in the Web 2.0 world is really centralized. You don't own it, you don't control it. Correct? The problem that it can create are many. For example, in Web 2.0, if you put something on Facebook, and if that does not comply with Facebook's terms and conditions, then Facebook can take that post down. So what is happening over here? Here there is now censorship of data. So you are creating that content. You don't have the freedom to basically control that content. Platforms like Facebook or YouTube will actually decide whether that content is correct or not correct. Correct? So this challenge that is faced by Web 2.0 solutions is something that Web 3.0 in some form or the other is trying to solve the problem, basically. And when we come to Web 3.0, we are talking about user-generated content, right? Now, what is user-generated content? User-generated content is the same content that you actually created on Web 2.0. The difference in Web 3.0 is actually that you own it over here, right? But let's see what Web 3.0 is. The technical term for Web 3.0 is the semantic web. Why a semantic web? Because it has data, and along with the data, it has the semantic for the data, correct? Which means that when you provide semantic to the data, the data is possible for the computers to actually cognitively manage the data or cognitively process the data, which today is not possible with Web 2.0 systems, right? The other important part of Web 3.0, that it is a decentralized network. So it is a decentralized internet. We are talking about decentralized internet where the servers are not centrally controlled by the platform owner. Really? So if the servers are not controlled by the platform owner, that means the challenges that we saw about ownership, the challenges that we saw about censorship, they just disappear, because now these platforms cannot control what data you put onto the decentralized network. So that is one of the benefits, right? The other benefit of Web 3.0 is that Web 3.0 is user-centric. When I say Web 3.0 is user-centric, what it really means is that you are creating the data, you own that data, you have autonomy on top of that data, right? What do I mean with autonomy? Autonomy means basically I'm able to kind of control how the data is shared on the internet, correct? Now, today, the data that I create on Web 2.0, the platform has permission. In Web 3.0, I can decide whether I want to share this data with you or I don't want to share this data with you. At the same time, you can decide the same thing, right? You can decide whether you want to kind of, monetize this data or not, basically. Let me take a payment example. If you look at payment applications today, you get a feeling that you are transferring payments peer-to-peer. So when I send money to you on a payment app, right, you get a feeling that Agnelo has transferred this money directly to me. But what really is happening is basically when you try to send that money, your app connects to your bank connects with my bank connects with my app. That's how in a few seconds I realize that you have sent me money. Does this mean it is peer-to-peer? Not necessarily, because both your bank and my bank are intermediaries over here and they are centralized applications. Okay. So what does it mean that I have a real P2P kind of an environment? A real peer-to-peer environment is possible because there is blockchain involved. Web 3.0 largely depends on blockchain. Blockchain enables peer-to-peer transactions. Now in peer-to-peer transactions, the intermediary does not have any control, right? So because they don't have any control, what we see as payments happening peer-to-peer are real-time payments, and the transactions are recorded on a blockchain ledger, right? The other thing that becomes important in a Web3 environment, because it's a user-centric system, is that identity becomes important, right? What is identity? Today you have an identity. You have a Google ID basically, which you can actually use to log into Gmail, but at the same time can actually log into other applications which are not hosted by Gmail. You've potentially seen login with Facebook, right? What is the meaning of login with Facebook? The login with Facebook means that your identity, your login ID and your password is actually controlled by Facebook. You can actually log in with Facebook into any application. But it's a Facebook ID, which means like centralized content, your ID also is centralized. Facebook owns your ID and your password, right? This means that just like content can be censored, Facebook can actually censor your ID and allow you to not log into the system. And the moment it does that, the moment it kind of censors your ID, you will not be able to log into all the other websites that you're using login with Facebook, right? And that is the challenge which Web 3.0 is trying to solve. Identity is going to become your own. You are going to own your identity and control your identity, and that's what Web 3 is all about. So in this episode, we spoke about Web 3.0. I'm looking forward to meet you in the next episode again, where I will talk to you about NFT. And I know you're interested in this, right? Let's let's meet again in the next episode. So don't forget to like, share, and comment on this episode. And I will be here to respond to all of your comments down below. Thank you.